take the map and drive the instructor inside the classroom and link it to the M step, then everything will move. You see it?
Ladies, third grade teachers, could you tell me, how do you think this professional development was for you today?
PD. It was productive. It was exciting.
We will never leave Mr. Hurt's advising.
Because the schools that I've worked with, the teachers I've worked with, their scores just go through the roof, because what I do is I talk about practical stuff that's practical. Because I'm a former teacher and also I'm a principal, so I'm gonna be telling you guys things that I know will work in your classroom.
For booking, please visit shurtschoolturnaroundspecialist.com.
So I believe that, if everybody say it can't get done, I'm like, yes it can, why not? I said, if these kids can't read, then I'm not gonna promote them. All this, mom, dad, I'm gonna look you in your face and say this kid can't read. We let them down. School, parents, we let them down, but I'm not gonna take them to the next grade knowing that they're not at grade level. It's funny because I'm always like, okay, how are schools successful? Well, schools are successful when they demand greatness. Greatness doesn't come. We're about to make history. We're about to learn, we're about to grow, we're about to make history. And then, mark my words, it's gonna be other school districts, other places around it that's gonna be doing this thing. We're gonna be the first model. And I'm speaking that into existence, okay?
For booking, please visit shurtschoolturnaroundspecialist.com.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is Sean Hurt with another Saturday morning podcast. And this morning, it is another powerful one. I will be talking to principals, and the title is How to Create Principals Inside of Your Building. How to create principals inside of your building. So this is what I need everybody to do. Give me about 2 minutes as I get all of my Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube people, and Twitter people in the house. Come on in and let me know where you're coming from. And also, if you're on YouTube, make sure that you share, like, and do all of the things that needs to be done, as we move forward. So come on in. Let me know where you're coming from. This is a very important topic. It is a very important topic that we must discuss. Why is this important? Because at the end of the day, we need to be able to start to create principals and leaders within our building. It is going to be the time when we come back from Christmas break. There will be a lot of job openings, a lot of principal job openings, and we need to be prepared. We need to be preparing, our teachers, the ones that want to get into those positions, how to be able to be ready for those interviews. Be ready. And you can't get ready during the interview process. You need to be ready months and years in advance. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right. So give me about 30 more seconds. I get some more people on, and we're going to go ahead and do the roll call shout outs. And I know that people are getting ready for the holiday season. Christmas is right around the corner. So I know a lot of people are doing shopping and getting their house prepared for all of the festivities that's taking place. Schools, next week will be your last week for schools to be in. So I know it's going to be a lot of parties and just all of the good stuff that we do during the season. But with that being said, we still have to make sure that we still focus on the main thing. Okay, so let's see who's with me. And once again, hit that share button. Let me know where you're coming from. Let me get these captions out. All right. Let's see who's with me. I want to say good morning to Mrs. McMahon from checking in from Illinois. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Mrs. Miss Sessions from OKC. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Hold on. Good morning to you, Mrs. Miss Constance Sherrod, tuning in from Mississippi. Good morning to you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for always tuning in and supporting. Good morning to you for Stacy L. Joy. Yes, good morning to you. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy that you're able to attend and be here. I appreciate you so much. Good morning to Mr. David Bell from Benton Harbor, Michigan, and congratulations on the new principal at the high school, Brother Keith Sanders, excellent person. I know that he will be doing some tremendous things, in Ben Harbor. Good morning to you, Mr. September Vance Daniels from Orange, Jersey. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, AP Patrick Lawrence. Happy holidays coming from Connecticut. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Dr. Jeter. Thank you for all of the support. I know the NAPSI conferences is taking place. I will be there next year. I'm seeing so many posts and people down there. I know it's some good information being shared. I will be there next year. Good morning to you, Mrs. Melissa Jones Chuno. Good morning to you. Good morning. Who else we got? Who else we got? We got Jasmine Harris in the house. Good morning to you. Why didn't you attend the NAPSI conference? I don't, Dr. Jeter, just to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know. I need to be attending. I should be there. I don't know, but I will be there next year. I definitely will be there next year. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Once again, my name is Sean Hurt, and you know the question I always ask every time. Every time I always ask this question. What is keeping you up at night as an educator? I got all my notes right here. What is keeping you up at night as an educator? And I want us to take time and really put it in the chat. What is keeping you up at night as an educator? For me, what's taking place is that this week I've been in a couple of meetings, and then the discussion or the topic, what was talked about was why aren't we able to educate our inner city kids? What is stopping us from being able to have high academic gains in our inner city in rural schools? I was in 3 different meetings and that was discussed. Maybe because it's the middle of the year and data is coming out and things of that nature, but that was discussed. And that's what's keeping me up at night. For me, I'm passionate about it, and I'm asking the question, why aren't we using these practices that I know is working in these inner city schools? What's taking place? What's happening? Why are the scores still looking the same that it looked like 10 to 15 years ago? So that's what's keeping me up at night, because I'm like, what more? And I take a personal, to be honest with you. Principal in the inner city for over 15 plus years. The last 5 years I've been doing consulting. What more can I do? What more do I need to do to get the word out? What more do I need to do to work with these districts that are struggling year after year after year? And I'm passionate about this. Let me take off my glasses, because it is going to get to a time where we can't keep doing the same thing over again. And like I said, I was in 3 different meetings. One of my colleagues yesterday, he put it in the chat, and that was discussed when he was in the meeting. And he's 100 miles away from my meetings that I'm having in Michigan. He's not even in Michigan, and he put it in the chat yesterday. We're talking about inner cities. We're talking about kids that look like us, that came from our environments. That's, why are we not fixing this? Why is it the same results year after year after year with the same district? So you asked the question, what's keeping me up at night? That is what's keeping me up at night. I have Principal Kafeli. Good morning, Principal Kafeli. What's keeping me up at night is the current administration and its impact on administration. It's alarming. Yes, I do. I totally agree, Principal Kafeli. Man, I totally agree. We got Constance Serrano. Man, I'm gonna stay here for a couple of minutes because I'm gonna read this stuff. Teacher resignations and increase of educators returning early. So that's what's keeping Constance Serrano up at night. I talked about that. Teachers resigning. That's a whole different topic for another day. But yes, that is keeping me up at night. What else? Improvement after the So just go ahead and put it in the chat. What is for real impact? Yeah, should have said impact on schools. Yep, it does have impact on schools, Principal Fele, man. Yes, it does. It's stopping from people and then I know you put it in a post that there's certain topics or certain things we can't discuss as consultants coming into these schools or districts, because the administrator is not paying, you won't get Title I fundings if you are talking about certain topics and certain issues. And at the end of the day, it is impacting the kids, the kids that's coming from inner city, to coming from poverty. It's impacting them tremendously. It is impacting them tremendously. So I do can't even say, yeah, you can't say black kids. Yeah, you can't say that. So that's what's keeping me up at night. All right. So just put it in the chat because this is serious, y'all, man. Usually I'm cracking jokes, I'm excited, I'm laughing, I'm whatever. But in this one, I gotta be serious with this because once again, I'm seeing it all over the world. I'm in meetings. Like I was in a meeting yesterday. I'm gonna give you the timestamp. I was in a meeting at about 11:45 to 12:15. It was brought up, what's going on with these. It was 5 schools, and all 5 schools was inner city schools. And the person said, I just need to know, how can I fix my inner city schools? That's what the person said. The person said in the meeting, it was 20 of us in the meeting. How can I fix these 5 inner city schools that I'm over? It was the superintendent. Let that sink in. The superintendent is asking the masses, what do we do? How can I transform? How do I fix these 5 schools that I'm the superintendent over for the last couple of years? We have not unlocked the key to be able to fix this. What do I do? So that's what's keeping me up at night. What's going on in education in my world? Well, on Monday I have a virtual meeting with Dr. Flowers and her team from Georgia. I have a virtual PD with them from 9 to 11. I cannot wait. I'm excited. Met with her yesterday, and we're going to be doing some things with the administrative team virtual. We're going to look at the mid-year data. We're going to roll out a plan. We're going to talk about what we're going to do to take her school even to higher levels. So I'll be meeting with her, and then also I'll be doing a virtual meeting in January the 5th. Yep, January the 5th. I'll be in Charlotte virtual with another principal. We're going to be doing the same thing. So once again, I'm going to do my part to transform that. I don't want to sound down or gloom or anything like that. But once again, that's what's keeping me up at night. All right, let's go ahead. I got 17 minutes. So now the topic is how to create other principals inside of your building. This is dear to me because if we're trying to take our school to the next level, we need to be able to identify the talent, the superstars within our building, and then from there, put them on a pathway so they can be able to become a principal either in the district or in other districts. A lot of times we say, hey, we'll keep them in our building because there's nothing in our district. But if you are truly invested in this person, if you truly want the best for this person, like my principal did, I did not become a principal in my district. I had to leave out of my district and I went to another district, but my principal was truly invested in me growing and me doing what's best for me and my family. And that's what you have to do as a principal. It should be part of your job description to be able to produce other people that looks like you, that resembles you, so they can go ahead and go to the next level. That's not right. A lot of times we will minimize the person because we know that person is talented and we don't want he or she to leave out of our building, because if they leave, then now I got to find somebody to replace this person that did all of those things. But if I'm the person and I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to go to the next level, if you do this, then eventually I'm going to get frustrated and mad and I'm going to end up leaving on a bad note, because the thing that people want that are good in their craft and correct me, not even correct me if I'm wrong, I know I'm right, is they want growth. They want growth within their building, growth within the district. They want growth. And if we do not provide growth for them, they're going to leave mad or they're going to shut down, and we don't want those things to take place. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the things that we can do as a principal. We have many principals on here, many leaders on here that you can do in order to create principles inside of your building and take them to the next level. All right. Not in no order, but I need everybody to write this down. Give individuals in your building opportunities to present and showcase their skills in front of admin. Give your teachers, your coaches, your APs the platform to present and showcase their skills in front of admin in your district. Why is that important? Let's take a deeper dive. Because when a position opens up within your district, that superintendent will say, man, I remember when Ms. Smith did this presentation regarding data. I remember when they did this presentation at the board meeting regarding the new reading series. Now that's going to stick in the superintendent's mind. So when something opens up in the district, they're going to always remember that. So now when they have 15 resumes in front of them, they got 15 resumes, they're going to pull out Ms. Smith's resume and say, oh, I know what she's talking to. I know what she put on her resume corresponds to what she does because I've seen her in action. But if we don't put these superstars, these good teachers in front of the right people, then consequently, when these positions open up, they won't be considered for them. Give them the opportunity to present and showcase their skills in front of admin on a consistent basis. Does that make sense? Put it in the chat. Is that making sense for everybody? Once again, when I was a building principal, I go back to I always allow my APs to present whatever we needed to present. I co-presented with them, in front of admin because I wanted my admin to see the talent that was inside of my building. Jasmine Harris says build capacity. Yes. I got Dr. Garcia, Dr. Edwin Garcia. He's in the chat. If you are not creating leaders, you are not leading. That is on point. Create leaders within your building. All right. Next one. And this is what gets people messed up. Principal, please sit down with your team or people that want to become principals and allow them to look and understand the school budget. They must look at the budget and understand. It can't be one time, but they must understand the budget. I've been talking about this. I had a PD a couple of weeks ago. You must know what your title budget is, what the general fund budget is. When you get interviewed, when you are sitting down in front of them, what's going to separate you is that you understand the budget. You can stay within budget. You understand what FTEs are. You know how much money each kid represents within your building. You understand the general funds and how much do you have in general funds for teachers and supplies and things of that nature. You know what you can spend for Title I. I talked about that. You know what you can spend in 31A, Title II. The list goes on and on. Stay with me, everybody. You must you can't get it on the day of the interview. You must understand that. Know it. Now, I'm not saying you have to be entrenched in it because as a principal, you're going to be entrenched in it, but you must have some type of understanding. How much money do I have for my after school program or for my tutoring program? What budget item does that come from? Am I talking good? Is this sounding good to everybody? How much money do I have in my summer school? Where does that budget item come from? How many staff members do I hire? At what particular rate? At $45 an hour? Blah, blah, blah. You want to be able to, you have to understand that is non-negotiable if you're trying to be a principal. But in principal, you must bring the people into the room and have those discussions with them. Let them see it, walk them through it, explain it to them. That's how you build capacity within your building, because that's why when people, there's a rhyme and reason for what you're doing as a principal. And if people understand that budget piece, they will go a long, long, long way. They will go a long way. I'm gonna stop right there because because I know people are commenting. Hit that share button. Come on now, and I know, and we're gonna try to get as many people on YouTube as we can. So if I got people on YouTube, make sure you go to YouTube and like and subscribe. I think we need everybody on there. The next one is this. Remember, you want to look how we got to start to create principles. We have to, because if I'm building capacity within my building, my school is going to get that much better. My school is going to get that much better because I got people in my building that's thinking like me, that's acting like me. That's pretty much me. So if I'm taking 2 days off, my building doesn't fall apart. Things doesn't go crazy. All right. Principle: you must create a culture where leadership is shared. You must share the leadership. You are not a solo singer, principal. You must share the leadership with your other APs and coaches. You must share it, but also you must hold them accountable for results. We can be nice, we could be friends, but at the end of the day, I'm going to share my leadership. So that means that I'm going to give you opportunities to lead, but also I have to hold you accountable, because if you want to be a principal, you're going to, everything falls on you. So I'm going to give you some of that. It's called shared leadership. I'm going to give you some of that shared leadership so we can share what we're doing. That means you might have them with you go and do classroom observations together. That's called shared leadership. And then give feedback to the teachers. You might sit there in the meeting, you might not say nothing. You just want to see how that's taking place. It's called shared leadership. Shared leadership is that, okay, when it comes to curriculum choices and looking at curriculum and things of that nature, asking their opinion. What reading curriculum should we get? What is that looking like? Our short cycle assessments, our biweekly assessments. How do we look at our data? That's called shared leadership. You're not just taking it for yourself, but you are sharing the leadership with others. Because when it's time for the position to open up, they're going to ask the question, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, have you done any teacher evaluation? And when you done a teacher evaluation, what type of feedback tool did you use, and how did you give feedback to the teacher so that teacher can get better in what they're doing? It's called shared leadership. A lot of times, the reason why schools fail, everybody on my podcast, is because we don't share the leadership, and then with that, we have to hold people to a high standard for excellence. Share leadership and hold individuals to a high standards for excellence. My good friend from the Fantastic Four, Dr. Josh Tarver, says, do you share with Mr. Potato Plant? Mr. Potato Plant is an individual teacher, and you guys have it at your schools, about 2 or 3 Mr. Potato Plants, that no matter what you do, they're going to always go against what you're doing. They don't like being there. They just pretty much there collecting the check and ready to retire. That is Mr. and Mrs. Potato Plant. Do we share that? No, we don't, because you are wasting your time with Mr. and Mrs. Potato Plant, because they do not care about the school or district getting better. They want everybody to be miserable just like them. Do not share anything with Mr. and Mrs. Potato Plant. Don't waste your energy with them. Let them be who they are. And eventually, at the end of the year, you're going to have to make a decision on trying to get this person out of my building. Yep. Next one. Empower staff. That means you're giving them the power to think and act like school-wide decision makers. Empower your teachers, your superstar teachers, to think and act like school-wide decision makers. That goes back to that empowering. You gotta empower them, but have them think like you. Like it can't be what's best for the eighth grade team. What is best for the whole school, all 45, 50 teachers, all 600 kids, all of these departments. Think from the top down. Don't think from your own little silo. You got to think about everything. So now, consequently, you need to have those conversations with your people. Think and act like school-wide decision makers. Those are the, and then when you get them to start to thinking and acting like that, that is when you are creating principles inside of your building. Does that make sense? That makes sense. That makes sense. And the last one is developing instructional leaders. I know Principal Caffelli talks about it all of the time regarding your APs just can't be doing lunchroom duty, bus duty, and discipline. No, they just can't do that. That's wasted their talent. You have to develop them as instructional leaders. They might be doing that now, but you gradually got to put that on their plate. They need to be instructional leaders. They need to understand data. They need to look at the lesson plans. They need to go, I talked about it, go in there and doing your instructional rounds, looking at evaluations and things of that nature. They need to be doing coaching. They have to be instructional leaders. They need to know what the data is saying. What are the goals for the end of the year? Once again, many of you guys have taken your mid-year district assessments. The APs need to be part of that process of looking at it, unpacking it, having those conversations. You're going to be in April, May taking your state test. Your district, your admins need to be part of that, looking at how that goes, being part of that, and setting those goals. They need to understand that. Your APs have to be instructional leaders. They are not disciplinary people. Stop having them do that. They need to be instructional leaders. Does that make sense? So I'm going to stop right there because I'm close to my time. So just a couple of things. I just went over just a few tips, steps for you to take with you. Identify educators on my chat. Identify 2 individuals in your building that can become principals. Just identify 2. Just give me 2. Identify 2 and use these principles that I talked about and start to work with them. Show this podcast. You sit down and watch this podcast. The podcast is number 30 minutes. Watch with them. Say, hey, these are the things that I'm going to be working with you so you can be this instructor, so you can be a principal, in the near future. And I'm telling you, it's going to build their confidence. It's going to take their work performance to a whole nother level and things of that nature. So I'm going to stop right there. So I want to say, everybody, have a blessed week. Happy holidays to everybody. If you would like for me to come in and support your school and district, hey, inbox me. We can make this work. You know the work I do. I want to transform schools all over the world. I'm passionate about the work that I'm doing. So thank you very much for supporting me. May God bless you and have a good week. And if no one have told you this, I love you. I care about you. I want the best for everybody on my podcast. I want you to reach your dreams, your aspirations. Don't get down. Don't get down. Just keep on pushing, pushing, pushing. Thank you. I see you next week.